Cheers, y'all. Welcome back to No Wooden Nickels. How y'all be out there? Hey man, everybody that's hanging out tonight. It's Friday night. Just be safe with it, responsible with it, and make it home the same way you left. Anyway, man, my content's for educational purposes only. Can't stress enough for you guys to do your own research. Praise my content. Any errors you find, throw in the comments, because none of us have been alive long enough to know all that transpired in the past, and none of us can live long enough to know all there is to learn. Hey, man, I just want to talk to y'all tonight, man. And the discussion is going to be about, something I just been noticing lately to me. I notice it all the time, but I sidestep the energy and keep it moving on it. You know what I mean? But I'm noticing, man, that, a lot of people ain't as happy. Either they not happy, period, or they putting a lot of effort and attention into appearing happy. Go figure. If the shoe don't fit, don't try to put it on your feet. But excuse me. 9 times out of 10, if it don't fit your feet, then you gonna resonate with what I'm about to talk about. Hey man, if things ain't going idealistic for you in your life, if you have circumstances in your life that you're not satisfied, content, happy, or loving, then why do a lot of you people feel the need to project that energy onto somebody else that ain't did a goddamn thing to you? Y'all ever seen somebody, man, that, is looking for a reason, to get that hurt or whatever it is, that anger, that frustration off their chest at your expense? I see it all the time, but what I suggest, man, for those that do fall in that category, if you, and see, sometimes it's not even intentional. Sometimes you could just be so angry, you could be so frustrated. And, sadly, sometimes you could be so miserable with certain circumstances that you encounter in your personal life, that it comes, because see, only thing can come out of you is what's what you put in yourself, or what you allow, what you compartmentalize and set aside, instead of dealing with that shit right there, getting that shit off your chest. Somebody do something that rub you the wrong way, man, let that shit be known. Don't hold that shit in. I did the analogy, man. You can hold this little shot glass, at a 90 degree angle from your body. It don't weigh a goddamn thing. But if you do it for 10 hours, all this gonna be shot. And I hate to reiterate things, but some people that may be watching this video or may happen to be new members. They may have happened to just stumble upon one of my videos via Facebook or YouTube, and and they might not have caught that jewel. But the jewel in that analogy is if you compare and contrast that to negative emotions, the longer you hold on to those negative emotions or that disdain that you carry in your heart for somebody that might have rubbed you the wrong way or did something, that was objectionable to you, and you didn't deal with it. You didn't check that motherfucker right there. You didn't get it up off your chest right then and there, and you allowed for that emotion to be compartmentalized within and left there. That's hurting you. The longer you hold on to those emotions and those feelings, the worse it's going to hurt you. So, case in point, don't hold on to no emotions, man. Because it's a plus side to not holding on to no pressure, no emotion. Because when you hard check whoever it is about whatever it is they've done, it's either it's going to bring it to their awareness because they may not have been from an intentional position with it, and they're going to correct the behavior and even apologize, or they're going to back the fuck up off you. They're going to leave you the fuck alone. Or you're going to have to get into something. It's one of them three. Either way, you ain't going to have to keep dealing with that dumb shit out of that individual or those individuals. Whether it be family, so-called friends, whomever, whatever. Don't hold that shit because it hurts you. 9 times out of 10, that other individual, they just as jovial and happy and they ain't paying that shit no mind. Whole time you steaming. You know what I'm saying? Like the old Tom and Jerry cartoons, you can fry an egg on your motherfucking head. Because you done held on to that. And you didn't, you didn't deal with that the way you were supposed to deal with that. And, that's just one scenario. The other scenario is, if you frustrated behind circumstances in your life, not being ideal or things just ain't happening fast enough. Why they getting this and why they got that and I'm going hard as I'm going and I ain't seeing no results. Hey, man, sometimes you got to back up off of shit. You understand? Regroup your shit. Regroup yourself. Get your shit back together. And then approach it again. Sometimes it can be that simple. Other times, you may have to take a look at yourself and what it is that you're doing. If you keep repetitively going through the same circumstances, evidently that's the universe trying to get you to see something that you've overlooked. Trying to, going through its natural cycle of, giving you a lesson that you have yet to extract the lesson from. That's another scenario. Because if anything you go through and you don't extract the lesson, it's inevitable for you to go through it again. Whether it be the same person, same circumstance, or same energy, different face, or same concept, different circumstance. Life is a school, man. You start learning from the time you come out the womb until the time you go to the tomb. Never feel like your cup of knowledge is full and poke your chest out. It's that ego and that pride that get you fucked up in no uncertain terms. Then for those that happen to be miserable. Listen, man, and I have empathy, you know, because I don't think you can be walking around eating, bleeding, sleeping, and shitting if you ain't at one point in your life or another been miserable. However, what I can tell you is this, you know, it's a few alternatives you can take. One is you can get, you know, some counseling. You know, you can seek a professional because, you know, and I'm a person that never believed in that shit until I had to get a psychological evaluation in order to secure my pardon. And when I went through that experience, it opened up a whole new mentality to me, because depending on who you're dealing with on the other side of that desk, some of those individuals are highly skilled, you know, and they can hold the mirror up to you in such a way that you have no choice but to see your bullshit, your inefficiencies, you know? And that's for those who lack or feel as though that they lack, because whatever you believe about yourself is your truth. For those that feel as though they don't embody the capabilities to do it themselves. Now, for those that do embody the capabilities, the strength and the discipline and the sheer heart to deal with your own bullshit, looking yourself in the mirror, critically analyzing what you see there and dealing with what you see there appropriately. Shit take heart, people. You know, it ain't sweet. You know, in some cases, in order for you to deal with your own bullshit, it take more heart than it do to do this. Because a lot of the things that may have you in a miserable condition are deep-rooted, highly traumatic and emotional experiences that you've undergone and experienced but never had a resolution to. And you're still carrying that baggage around. And you look at yourself in the mirror and you see somebody that you barely recognize because of all the layers stemming from the what you're looking at is the layers from the I hate when I forget this word. Bear with me, people. Defense mechanisms that you've instituted and initiated that effectively add a figurative, and over time it becomes literal, additional layer on top of the core of who and what you are, in an attempt to protect either your heart, your physical self, or your emotional self, or all of the above, whatever the case. But, you know, in order for you to do that, you need a level of isolation. You break it up how you need to, based upon how your life go. You know, but you gotta, excuse me, you gotta give yourself time away from the world, away from all your peers, and in some cases, depending on if you dealing with somebody and your significant other, may or may not have the wisdom, knowledge, and or understanding to assist you in, through, and out of that process. So in some cases, you even got to back up. You know, you communicate, of course. You know, you want them to know where you at and that it has nothing to do with them. You know, especially if you realize that they're not suited to assist you in that regard. You know, you got to back up, man, and just focus on yourself. And when you begin that focus, you know, it depends, man. You may know what it is that ails you. You may know what it is that's fucking with you. And in some cases, you may have to even meditate. You know, and just play your memories of your life, and it'll strike you. Trust me, it'll strike you. What it is that pain, that hurt, that anger, that frustration, or that misery stemmed from. And when you find it, you got to deal with it. You got to deal with it in a way whereas though it'll allow you to put that emotional baggage down. So that involves you know, forgiving yourself. You know, if something was perpetrated against you, and forgiving the other individual, not for them, but for you. You know, because again, you keep holding that cup out there, that's going to hurt you. So in order for you to put that cup down, you got to forgive them. That's what allows you to put the cup down. I.e., that emotional trauma that you've been harboring and holding on to all these goddamn years. You know, and then you know the other scenario that I failed to mention is just, you know, for evil-hearted motherfucker. They out here, you know. Yeah, they out here. They get enjoyment out of causing others pain. You know. They get the kind of laughs that hurt your stomach and your cheeks, you know, to see somebody go through some shit. Or to get, you know, the kind of setback that'll fuck you up, change your whole life around. You know. Oh yeah, they get enjoyment out of it. They out there. Trust me. You might be sitting next to a motherfucker that's like that right now. You know. But you know, and this is the part in the story where I got to talk about universal and spiritual law. You know, I just seen a quote on Facebook that says, you may get away with some of the things that you do, but eventually you will pay. You will pay for the intentions that you set for doing what you did. You will be revisited by the energy that you sent out into the universe, you know, in no uncertain terms. And you do not get to have any decision in how that shit plays out, how it comes back, who it comes back to. May not even come back to you. May come back to your children. May come back to somebody that you love. And I ain't talking about in a relationship sense. I'm talking about parental, sibling, you know, family member, you know, or it may even be your significant, you know, because you when you don't understand spiritual law and universal law, it's just like it has similar, you know, resemblance to the street life. You know, you may not have nothing to do with what this individual is involved in, but just based off your affiliation, now you caught up in this nigga's web. You know? This is why, man, you know, And this is something I'm gonna say for the individuals that fall in the more derogatory aspect of the scenarios that I previously laid out. Especially you individuals that, get enjoyment out of harming and doing fucked up shit to others. Or antagonizing people. Trying to play God in somebody's life. No. Or trying to be the creator, in a sense, in somebody's life. Sometimes, the karma is immediate. Sometimes the karma is immediate. And trust me, in those types of cases, you will be humble. You will be humble. Robert Greene, shout out to the author. Know who you dealing with. Because just like, I know a lot of you younger cats might not have heard this saying, but for the older cats, and ladies, 40 plus club, y'all remember when your moms or one of the elders that overseen you as you grew and developed, you think you one of them bad motherfuckers. It's always somebody out there better than you. Always somebody out there better than you. And sometimes you'll be surprised who is. Because I notice nowadays a lot of the younger crowd, they running in cliques and crews. Hey man, do y'all? But you what I'm gonna say to you is this: you gotta have that same energy when you lonesome, when you by your lonesome. You understand? When it come time for that close quarter knuckle drill and ain't no weapons of war involved, you gotta be able to have that same energy. Because only then is it real. So, and this just goes for those evil-hearted individuals that, take a liking in bringing destruction in whatever form or fashion to somebody else's life, man. Check yourself. Because eventually you will wreck yourself. Or somebody will wreck your ass for you. It's just the facts. You know what I mean? So, hey man, in closing, there's always a way around whatever obstacles you may have or may encounter in your life. All that shit's temporary, man. You gotta ebb and flow. Just like the ocean. You see the waves come in and it mellow out. And you see the wave come in again and it mellow out. You know what I mean? In other words, you have ups in life and you have downs in life. Thing you gotta be able to decipher is, why am I going through this? What lesson do I need to learn in going through this situation? Not, man, I'm mad, shit ain't going my way. Why this motherfucker so happy? Let me do something to fuck his or her day up. That ain't it, people. That is not it. You know what I mean? It's not going to take your circumstances away. If anything, it can only worsen your circumstances. If the source of your discomfort and your dis-ease is coming from, something individual to your lifestyle. Hey man, another thing while I'm at it, man, you know, we one thing I feel inclined to say, man, is that we have to stop. You know, we got to break, you know, understand that the mind was the prototype behind the computer. All of them. So the same way you can delete files and reprogram a computer, you can do the same thing with your mind. Just takes a little longer, anywhere from 21 to 30 days. I've also mentioned that on prior videos. So if you're not the program manager of your subconscious mind, which dictates your reality, your everyday reality, then maybe you need to take a look at that and occupy some of your time trying to change and better that. Because in changing and bettering that, you will change and better your own life. You know, everything you need is within you. But society has us all seeking outer validation and trying to find happiness out here somewhere when it starts in there. As within, so without, universal law. If you know, you know. You know, understand that we've been purposely miseducated. You know. We've definitely been, you know, targeted on multiple fronts. And you further behind the eight ball if you don't read, if you don't research. I ain't saying everything on YouTube or social media is the truth, but it's your job, you know, to do the reconnaissance work on whatever information. You gotta praise the information that you receive. Because you got a lot of powerful people shit. You got a lot of powerful people that's pieces of shit. Just because somebody's powerful and has affluence and influence don't mean that they're a good person. Know that. You know? So, hey, man. You know, first of all, man, be an individual. Be your own man or woman. You know? Find your own way. You know? Stop being a follower. Stop succumbing to peer pressure. Oh, girl, you need to, man, fuck that nigga, this, that, and the third. Or, yo, man, she gonna be all right, nigga. You know what I mean? Just, you know, tighten up before you go home. You gonna knock this bitch off. Yeah, all that, or whatever the case. Or nigga, go on and handle that. You know what I mean? You gotta start listening to yourself. If you get that inner nudge or that feeling, or you might even hear yourself, which is your higher self, trying to warn you, nah, don't do that. Nigga, you need to get the fuck on. This nigga ain't for you. Or she ain't for you. You gotta listen to that shit. Keep you out of a lot of shit. Trust me. Because all the scenarios that I laid out to y'all, not to exclude one, I've been through them. See, you young and dumb before you're old and wise. And you got to go through experiences to get to the wisdom. Making mistakes. Succumbing to peer pressure. You know. Acting out of your emotions. You know. ETC. So, hey, man, like, you know, it's just going on a half hour, man. I only came to bust it up with y'all real quick, man. You know, so like I said, man, if you hanging out, you know, doing whatever it is you're doing, man, be safe, make it home the same way you left. Peace and love to the people, man. Y'all be easy. I'm gone.